What is up, guys? Welcome to the end of another year. This is my obligatory stream in which I sort of recap what this year was like to me, what my feelings are on it, opinion on it, stuff like that. And I guess I could mention what I expect is going to happen next year, or I hope is going to happen next year, but I'm not sure how I'm going to go about this topic. I have no plan. But, anyways, I'll just sit here and talk because that always seems to work out in the end for me. But, anyways, so to give you guys an update on my health, as you can probably hear, I'm feeling a whole lot better. And I don't have that issue with my arm anymore where I couldn't like bring it up higher than this. And yeah, I'm just happy that I'm not so miserable in that department because this winter, if I can call it a winter, because to be fair, the weather has been spring more than winterish. But at least I can say that every time I have gotten sick this season, it doesn't really last for a long time. And I think part of it has to do with how I don't let it get worse. Like, I watch what I eat a little better, and I also make sure that I stay as hydrated as possible, even though I still get dehydrated from all these ailments because it involves a lot of liquids, lots of fluids. There's a lot of fluid action going up on my nose, going down my throat, and all that stuff. So it's really hard to just balance it out. But I think I'm faring very well when it comes to that. But yeah, when it comes to the weekend situation, it feels like I don't even know how to describe it. Did it even happen? It was so fast, but also so out of the blue that I still want to think that I'm sick, even though I'm not. But I think it's because I might need a little bit more sleep. I might need to rest a little more. My sleep has been much better though. Like, I'm not going to bed incredibly late, and I also feel like although I do tire out faster at work, it's not like it's really bad. It's just my brother's texting me something. Anyways, um, it's not like I cannot finish a shift and I just feel really bad or anything. It's just that I need to build my way up to the level I was physically because after all, I was out for a week of out of my routine for a week. So that stuff just really catches up to you. But anyways, I'm just happy to report that I have mostly recovered. I still cough here and there, but it's mostly me trying to get rid of whatever it is that's left over still in my lungs. It's really annoying. It's mostly dry, but there's still something there. And if you manage to make me laugh, I am going to sound like a monster. So I'm not going to sample it out for you, but if you manage to make me laugh, then I guess you will hear it. But what else? What else? What else? What else? I know there was something else I wanted to say, but I kind of forgot. But anyways, um yeah, mostly better, 100% better. Not quite. I want to say I'm 98% well by now, which is almost perfect, but I cannot give myself a perfect score if I still have residual stuff going on. Let's see. Jimmy! Hello there. So glad you're feeling better. Thank God I have to run. So unfortunately, I can stick around this time, but be safe out there and happy 2020. Happy 2020 to you. Thanks for greeting me. And my people in this house know that I'm filming. Why are you trying to get in touch with me when I cannot? But anyway, but anyway. I cannot silence it because this is someone who has an emergency bypass, and if I remove it from them, then I'm going to forget that I removed it from them, and they need to have the bypass established. But anyway, but yeah, you guys, I am excited about being here because eventually I expect a few more people to tune in. But if you do tune in, I just want to put this out there. I'm going to be like, congratulations, you're already avoiding your family. But at the same time, you could tell me, oh, well, where's your family at? And you guys know my story. I ain't got no family. But my mom today is supposed to come back home significantly later because she is going to help a colleague out watching her kids or something. So, yeah, sounds good to me. And my brother, he's the one who keeps texting me. He's not very good about his way around town. So he is probably trying to ask me for directions. And I'm like, no, you knew that I was going to be committed at this time doing something. So no, I'm not going to to answer you. If you miscalculated your plans and whatnot, then that's on you. Whip out your smartphone that you're texting me with and find your way back. I like to be that person. But anyways, okay, so let me delve on the stuff about the year. Not delve, dwell on the stuff about the year. So for me this year, it's been an insane roller coaster. Some stuff has been incredibly frustrating. Some stuff I feel I have achieved that make me incredibly proud, and I just want to like get out there and shout it to the world that I have fulfilled the things that mean a lot to me, and that in the long run this is going to help me at getting to that spot in life that I want to be. But also, this year has been challenging in the aspect of, for some stuff, I have patience, and for some stuff, I don't. And the thing that I am finding myself struggling with is my relationships with people. And what I mean by my relationships with people is that just like I was streaming the other day and I was ranting or venting or bitching or complaining about something, whatever you want to call it, I have so little tolerance for humans who cannot think at a very basic level. And I don't like to interact with someone in a condescending manner because the stuff that's obvious to me may not be obvious to them, because this might be a person who is new to technology. They may be people who are new to the city, people who are new to, say, if it's at work, it's someone who is new to the company. So I don't tend to struggle with stuff like that at work very much because that's what I get paid for. I get paid for to take care of the customer. But sometimes there is that person who, if you are not communicating yourself clearly, it is not my problem to figure you out. Like, sometimes I get that one person who's like, to give you an example, where's your Brussels sprouts? And I'm like, you know, had you kept searching and not drown at the shore, you would have found them. And sometimes people just look without searching, if that makes sense. And I know that when you're stressed out and in a hurry, stuff just, it doesn't appear to be obviously in front of you, because sometimes for me, when I'm doing a job that requires for me to meet a deadline, I'm like, you guys, this is my first day on the job. I don't know where anything is at. I don't know how to do anything. All you want to do is have someone help you. But at the same time, some stuff is just too obvious. Like, you're there every day and you should know what it is that you're looking for. Unless we do a major shifting around, then there's no reason for you to be drowning at the shore when it comes to finding your stuff. But like I said, that from a worker perspective, that's what we are there for. That's what we get paid for. But if I'm shopping with someone else or I'm by myself looking for things, I don't ask for help when I need to find something unless I absolutely do not know where to look. That's when I ask for help. Like at my Walmart, I don't know what it is about the setup that they have in the home section, but I was looking for matches the other day. And logical conclusion is matches are going to be really close to where the candles are at. But for some reason, the way that that part of the store is laid out, the matches were on an aisle that's not really with the candles. It's like a few aisles away. It's in the same zone, but it's just a few aisles away, and it's since it's little boxes of matches, it's so easy for you to miss because if you look at the stuff at Walmart, Walmart is just flooded with things. Like it's really overwhelming. Every corner you turn to, there is product. There's not really an empty space unless there was a display there and it's been sold out or it has to do with the holidays or something. That's what I have observed about Walmart. But honestly, that's how every place seems to operate because everywhere that I shop at and even the place that I work at, that's how it is. But yeah, I just hope that people, just like one of my colleagues says, he was asking us, so what are your New Year's resolutions? I said, I just don't want to spend my money on bullshit anymore. I have a video coming up. It's going to take a long time for me to put out, actually, because I have to wait for this product to run out to then start a new one and then tell you guys about it. And I do not like to have more than one of the same product running at the same time because I'm just freaky like that. I like for something to be completely done before I open something. It's like bags of chips. If I have a bag of let to call it something crazy, if I have Doritos and Cheetos and Lay's, I cannot have more than one of those bags open simultaneously. I need to finish one flavor. I have to finish the second flavor, the third flavor, and then move on to the possible next snack that I want. I do not like to have the Doritos and the Lay's open and then have the Cheetos just sitting there unopened. Something about that just bugs me. The only exception to this rule are tortilla chips because tortilla chips are not chips that I associate with me just digging my hand into it and being like, I love this chip by itself, right? No, I like for things to have flavor to it. Tortilla chips are more of a scoop kind of chip for me, so they are designated for like say dipping sauces or cheeses, meat. I make nachos with it, or what the heck did I? Guac. That's the other thing that I eat with it. You know, but I just don't want to waste money on bullcrap anymore. And undoubtedly, I want to get back to the type of schedule that I had 2, 3 years ago, last year, where I was able to stay in shape. I had time for everything, and just overall not let certain situations overwhelm me because I was trying to do too much of something. And I must understand that if I'm doing stuff by myself, there is some stuff that inevitably will be not done, and I have to accept that as a one woman army. I have to be okay with that. But at the same time, I don't want to be okay with that because I know that I can handle it. And if I can show up to a place and work for someone else and give them my best, why would I not give me my best? I am the most deserving recipient of my very best. And I know that is like so, I guess it's really like corny to say, but it is so true. And I do not want to feel embarrassed about admitting that I need to practice that a little more, which is putting myself before others or anything else. And I do not know what makes me think that I cannot do that. What makes me feel like I'm incredibly dependent on these other stuff, you know? Like, no, I want to rise by my own resources and by my own merit because I know I have what it takes. I'm on my way, but sometimes I get careless with it because I think that I'm not mighty enough to take care of all that, and I'm like, bullshit. That's why I have been training ever since I was a kid. I've been practicing and honing my mind and skills, just no matter what kind of skill it is, let it be at finding ways to make things fit in one little backpack, finding ways to do things using just one hand while my other hand does something else. You know, I can do all that because I've been practicing since I was a kid for some reason. So I put myself at an advantage with those things. But but anyway, I just want to be there for myself more often because I stopped doing that, and that is why some stuff just spiraled out of control for me. And also, when it comes to this year, I'm incredibly proud that the people who used to upset me no longer have that effect on me in a way that I cannot handle. Like, if there's anyone out there who's getting ready to bully me, I stop them right there. I used to be the person who, in the name of possibly not hurting that person back, I would just take it. Like, they can talk to me however they want, they can treat me however they want, and I just took it, and I never did anything to defend myself. But nowadays, it's like all of my bullies, I have put them in place. It's like, don't treat me like that. I automatically start saying, don't start. Don't treat me like that. Or careful how you talk to me. Or careful how you're treating me. Things like that. I used to not say that before. And other times it was if someone kept challenging my ideas, I used to be afraid to counter it. But now, if someone gives me excuses, for example, I tear it apart. I'm like, no, there's no reason for you to give me excuses for this. No, excuses are unacceptable. And I guess something that I am coping with currently is understanding that not everyone will be able to deliver 100% of something, but this is something that I'm struggling with, and I guess I should do a separate topic on it because I refuse to accept that every time someone could be doing something for me, they can only do 60%, 70%, 80%. Whereas I give you my fucking 1000%. And then for some reason you don't reciprocate that. Why? That is the thing that I want to say this year sucked for me. I cannot wait to see what the new decade and year is going to treat me like. I mean, it's not like I think that it being a new year magically fixes things, right? I use the new year as pretty much my point of departure. Like January is the first month of the year, first day of the year. So with a year, you can easily keep track of things, like a start time and a finish time. Just like that's how health insurance works. It becomes effective on the first of the year, and then on the last day of the year, that's when it ends and the new stuff begins. So, I guess what I would like to see more of this year are people in my life who say yes more often and also put in more effort to what they do because, like I said, it's unbelievable that I can make everything happen when I'm the one who's serving someone else, but when someone's serving me, for some reason it's acceptable to not be 100% accurate, 100% fulfilling. Like, where is the person who perfectly matches me when it comes to my integrity, my dedication, things like that? Like, where are you, motherfucker? I need you in my life because I feel like there's no one in my life who satisfies me in that department. And I think that is part of what can fuel my depression sometimes because I'm thinking nobody loves me, nobody cares about me. Because if you cared about me, you would be mindful about how you do the things that I kindly request for you to help me with. And I know that the sole fact that you're there doing something and helping me with something, I'm incredibly grateful for because you don't have to. It's something voluntary. It's not like I'm paying you for something. But like I said, I'm just so sick that the people in my personal circle just never satisfy me. Whereas when I do something for you, you're mind blown because I even do more than you expected or more than you wanted. And it's because I am someone with integrity. I do care about the effort and what I do, you know? So I just wish that I had someone in my life who reciprocates that because it sucks to go about your life knowing that you give 1,000% and people only give you like 60%. No. I want someone to be there for me the same manner that I am there for them. And if you cannot be there for me to the same extent that I am there for you, just don't be in my life. Just go away. So, in the new year, I'm not sure if that's what I want, if I want to find the person who reciprocates me perfectly, or if I just want to do away with everyone who is not fulfilling me. But at the same time, why be so dependent on people? Why be dependent on other people's support? Why not use that as an encouragement to be independent? Simple, because no one can be absolutely independent. You can say that you're independent all you want, but if you were to break a bone, are you going to fix your own broken arm? No, you're going to go to someone even though it is a service that you're going for, and this person has an obligation to fulfill that service accurately. But I'm just saying that I hate when people say that they are 100% independent when there is no such thing as an independent human. And I know that that's me thinking critically, but that is exactly why, if you appreciate the way I think and you appreciate my ideas, those ideas and the way I am comes from somewhere. And part of it is that I keep it real. And that most people are not being realistic when they say that type of thing, right? Oh, I am self made. Oh, I am independent. No, at some point you needed help from someone. And if you're someone who owns a business, for example, you need other people to go to your premises and spend their hard earned money, or else you wouldn't have anything. So, no, you are not a self made rich person. Because if at some point we all collectively decided to not consume your product anymore, then that's it. You're done. No more business for you. Even if you have a bunch of assets and you just sell them, you still need for other people to consume the things that you're trying to sell so that you can maintain your status. See what I'm saying? People know that. I know that people are not stupid. They understand that that's how things work, but they tend to forget that. And I'm just saying that when I mention the obvious, I'm making it clear that I am not forgetting that that's the way things work. And that I mentioned that so that I can transition into the other aspect of the year that I want to discuss, which is politics. This has been the year in which I have been most aware of politics. I want to say I became better aware of it toward 2016 ish, but I want to say that this year I truly began to understand stuff that I used to understand nothing about. One of them is investing, one of them is the health insurance stuff. Why is it that I keep getting fucked over? How does it work? And it's not like I understand everything because there's still some words that I'm not very clear about. But compared to previous years, now I understand why it is that my insurance doesn't pay for anything. And when it's actually the time that it starts paying for stuff. And politically, this is what frustrates me. No matter what, if I want to see my interests being taken care of, I have to vote for me. And I would have to have other people vote for me. And somehow I would have to have an understanding of government to be able to A, legislate that stuff, make the law, execute the law, enforce them, or interpret laws, which is be a judge about them. And sincerely, that is not something that concerns me. That is not something that interests me. But what I detest about politics is that this is a game in which people sit in this fancy building for hours talking about stuff that they just ain't gonna do. Like, let's say some of the main talking points are, say, universal health care, if that were something applied to be applied. I'm not entirely sure where people get their arguments from, but I am mind blown that there's a lot of people who are against such a thing. And it's usually people in their positions of power who do not have to struggle for much, who say that I want to have a say on my insurance. I want to be able to choose which insurance it is that I have. And I also want to make sure that I can go to the doctor when I want and get care exactly when I want it. And I'm thinking, well, if you're really that concerned about other living beings, well beings, the living beings that haven't even developed to being living beings yet, if you're that concerned about them and vouching about them, even though deep down you don't care about what happens to, say, the living being that I may be incubating, for example, then why are you acting like you're concerned about my product? You're not. All you want to do is sound righteous. And I'm just saying that until you learn to love the people who are currently alive, then those who don't have an edge, why are you that concerned about them when there are people living and breathing and developed right now who are at a disadvantage and you don't want to vouch for them? What makes us any different? We're all still equally innocent. You might say, oh, well, it's because you can make decisions, you're already developed, you can create your fate and whatnot. But what I detest the most about this discussion is that a lot of people do not want to admit that everybody's opportunities are not the same. No matter how hard they try, they may not get certain opportunities, and you cannot ignore that stuff. You cannot just dismiss it for no reason. There are other people who are from crappy backgrounds as well, and they can make themselves progress, but at the same time, like I just mentioned, their opportunities are different. So I guess we need to focus more on how to better understand the folks who do not have those kinds of opportunities. Because I am so sick of being told that it is possible for everyone to just make it. But at the same time, for certain things, it's like, no, not everybody can make it. Well, why aren't we collectively as a society putting our resources together to make sure that becomes a thing? Because the resources are there, the possibilities are there, but not everyone knows how to go about it. Why aren't you trying to get together with the people who don't know how to go about it so that they can improve their livelihoods? You're not sharing that stuff, but somehow you want me to believe that you're this being that is righteous. No, you are a hypocrite. And politically, because I have been able to sort of pick apart at that, it's not like I'm perfect at it because I cannot claim expertise on something that I'm not an expert in, of course. But I'm just saying that I have observed the pattern. And something that I have also observed is on the note of government. Okay, for the most part, we don't want government to be involved in our affairs, right? All right, to a certain extent, I can agree. But, however, if you guys remember the times that the discussion about owning, your Second Amendment right, because, I don't want for the video to possibly go invisible or something, but every time that is under any kind of threat, even though you know that it's not under threat, government, make sure that you protect my right to keep my bang bang toys. For that, you absolutely want government intervention, right? You are fast about it. You are quick about it. Like you're demanding that nobody touch your precious metals. Like, you know, to me, that's kind of hypocritical. That's the aspect that I find hypocritical. For some stuff, you really want a lot of government involvement, but it's the stuff that is not even in peril anyway. You're not in peril of losing your ownership of that stuff, but somehow you give into it. I think the reason people give into it, it's because it is a way to keep you distracted from other matters, because there's a lot of stuff that I feel happens that just goes under the radar. It just slips under cracks. And I'm thinking, why are more people not talking about this? Like say more details about the health industry. For example, I think someone was telling me that in Texas, I think it's Texas, now if you want to go to the chiropractor, you need to go through a middleman or something. You cannot go directly to a chiropractor. Now you have to go, I think it's to like an insurance provider or something, and then they somehow reference you to the chiropractor. Something like that. I forget how it went. But I'm thinking, why is no one talking about that? Why is no one talking about the way that you accessing basic things is becoming more complicated? So, with that said, I just want for us to remain more focused on the issues that actually matter and that actually give us an advantage as a whole, because I feel like disproportionately there is stuff that gets attention even though it doesn't really need it. Hopefully that makes sense. But of course, there is a lot of people in this country, so I cannot expect for everybody to agree with me on what's a priority. But there's so much deception out there, and even I am a victim of it. I just would like to see people questioning things more often. And let me rephrase that. People do question things, but I feel like you're not asking the right questions. Because there were a few times in which some stories were coming out and people were already believing I guess, the more heinous details as opposed to investigating further, being a critical thinker about it, and being like, hold on, something about this doesn't sound right. And I also would like to see hoaxes decreasing, because there is also with this era of entertainment and getting attention, people are constantly thinking of ways to shock the world and have 15 minutes of fame or something. I really hope that celebrity worshiping just isn't so heavy in 2020. It is going to continue to be, unfortunately, but I just wish that we were more wise about how we perceive other people's lives and to not adore what other people are up to. Just because someone in their early 20s achieved becoming a billionaire, it doesn't mean that that's what you need to be striving for. Because for that to happen, there is always more to the story. And that is what I'm saying that I would like for people to question more often. Don't just accept something as, oh, hard work is the key. That is it. There is more to it than that. And I would like for people, the people who already do this, who already do the legwork of investigating the true origin of things, amazing. Keep doing what you're doing. But for the people who are like celebrating stuff like that without questioning it, it's like, no, please try to get yourself educated on how stuff comes to be. Because it's not as simple as that, you know? And that's the aspect that I was mentioning earlier, that people want to deny the opportunities that certain people get in life. Accept it. Accept that there are certain circumstances that give you an edge and that not everyone is able to encounter those. That's all I'm saying. So I guess I took a really long time to like say it like that, but it's really difficult for me to put it into that perspective when I don't really have like a source that I can be like, yeah, open this book on page 12 and it says it right there and it has been proven. It's just I have to go mostly by my memory and it's not the greatest sometimes. But things like that, I would like to see people thinking more critically, but also finding ways to not stay stuck to the life that they're living. Dare to spend that extra $2 at your local shop as opposed to going to a company that, it's all about the convenience of it. I know that that's what they do. Uh, like, these people made sure that they could own as many things as possible so that you are forced to conduct business with them, and that way your money is constantly circulating back to them. But try to occasionally, maybe whenever you can, this is what I do. Just if you have to spend that extra $2, $3 someone somewhere else just to improve someone else's life directly, why not? Go ahead and do it. Because this person doesn't have the chances that these other crazy people have at living the life of owning an empire of some sort. This is your local person. It could be your local farmer, it could be someone like that. You never know how long the money that you invest in people like that goes. And I say that from personal experience because for me, with my little clothing business that I'm trying to grow and have it take off, I know that certain things are considerably costly to get from me, but at the same time, if I can give away a couple of dollars, I always do. But sometimes I feel bad that I have to make it this pricey, but if it was pricey for me to obtain this, then in order to make a little bit of a profit, then I have to crank up the price a little bit. And I'm not happy about that. I'm not proud about that. That's why we need to somehow level the playing field. Because the reason this is happening is because these humongous places that have an excess of resources, they can afford to make stuff dirt cheap. But as someone who's starting and I come from nothing, then I need to increase the odds that I'm going to make some kind of a decent living with what I'm trying to get started, because I am the administrator and all of the expenses come out of my pocket, you know? Like the supplies to ship things. What I actually sell, I have to buy that. I have to buy it to resell it. So it does cost a lot, especially since I don't have a huge, like, what can I say? I don't have a lot of room for error. If I buy something and it sells and I do not make much profit off it, then can I live with the consequences of losing that money? It gets stressful when you're starting and you're by yourself and you don't have really a safety net that you can just find refuge in if things go wrong. So that's what I would like for people to think about more often. Yes, like I don't know, Ken, who is downtown selling I don't know, pens. His pens are more expensive, but at least that is a local person's life that I am contributing to. And again, just like I said, it is tough for me to live by that recommendation because I would like to be that person who I will go shop locally and only shop directly. Shoot, there are some people who I know who own businesses. I would like to go up to them and be like, hey, I'm going to buy groceries from you. I cannot always do that because, once again, my employer and potentially any other employer that I could have, they're going to pay me the bare minimum. And that forces me to keep doing business with them. But that's what I would like to encourage people to do. Get together with people who you know and try to come up with something because it is possible. It is possible. And now that I get to live a little bit of that dream, like I've been selling things for exactly a year now, I'm thinking, wow, it is possible for this to work. Now, all I need is to keep finding connections, keep spreading the word, and hey, this is what I have, this is what I can give you, and hopefully who knows? Maybe I'll be the next success story. I will never know it until I try. And I am trying to use every little bit of wits, intellect, being astute, observative, whatever it is you want to call it. Like, I am constantly running at my maximum, coming up with ways to be innovative. Just like big companies. Big companies do that too. They will exploit you mentally and they will ask you, hey, if you come up with ideas or got any feedback, let us know. And I'm thinking, am I going to be paid for that? No? All right. What are you talking about? You're getting paid by the hour. When you're on the clock and you give me ideas, you're getting paid. And I'm thinking, but that's extra. That's not part of my job description. In my job description, nowhere does it say I have to contribute 10 ideas every year in order for me to maintain my job. No. That's you encouraging me to give you my ideas that I could potentially use to create my business for my benefit. Because let me tell you, you're never thinking about my well-being. Because you don't have to. You're just a big company. You don't care about me. You don't have to care about me. You're going to be around long after I die. All right? So that's what I would like for people to try to think a little bit differently about what it is that you do every day. What do you actually own? And it's more so to the people who are like at my level. Like if you're on entry level kind of jobs and say for the people who really don't have a chance at anything else. That's what I would like for you to think about. And anything, no matter how stupid you think your idea is, someone had an even dumber idea and they turned it into something. So please do not give up. Just find something that you think you can handle a little bit at a time and get started with something. But for me, what makes me most proud is that I can say that these last 365 years, I have given it my all. And I have seen the results. I am beginning to see the results. And I have suffered some consequences, like I don't sleep as much. I can definitely see the fatigue and aging in my face and in my skin, and that I have gained weight and whatnot. But I'm thinking, I think it's worth it. Those are what I call scars of my effort. It's something that I have to endure for the time being. But if I'm really that concerned about it, I know that there's stuff I can do to remedy that. But for right now, I need to keep going at the pace that I am going because unfortunately, the world is really cruel and competition is fierce. And I just don't want to lose my advantage, whatever little bit of advantage it is that I have right now. So, yeah, you guys, that's pretty much concluding it on that aspect. But yeah, I'm nowhere done. I just want to catch up with the comments. New decade day. Are you 30 now? Nope. But it is about to be 9:30 where I live, so we have like 2 hours and a half left of this year, this decade. I'm so tired of people saying Happy New Year. So, given that I don't get to say Happy New Decade very often, this is my first time ever really saying that, then I want to be that person who is different. And then I say Happy Decade Day. But even when I do turn 30, I'm not going to tell you guys that I have turned 30. You're just going to have to somehow piece it together. And I will have to be careful about how I put my sentences together because if I were to say something like, ever since I turned 30, blah, 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 you guys are going to be able to piece together when that happened. So I don't want to be that person. I want to reserve and conserve the integrity of my personal information. I'm just playing. One day I might say how old I am. It's just that I think it's none of anybody's business. So that's really the reason why I don't put it out there. That and I like to entertain that thing that what is it called? It's a joke or something that you cannot ask a woman what her age is. Well, I, as a woman, cannot tell you what my age is because that is offensive. It's not. I'm just being a drama queen about it. Don't believe anyone is entirely independent. No, never. We all needed someone at some point in life. Yeah, like when you were born, you needed for your mother to not give up on you in order for you to make it. And if you could not rely on your mother, you needed some kind of parental figure to serve you. Let it be a father, grandparent, or something. It can come in all ways, forms, sizes, shapes, colors, but the basic is still there. You needed attention during a time you were most vulnerable. And when it comes to building up something like a business, a company, and whatnot, you're going to need help. I have needed help. And every time I have gotten help, it had put me at a great advantage. And now I understand why people in like the olden days, why some people were able to proliferate into like success so much. Because at that time, there were certain values that we don't have now that are not allowed, but there were certain valuables that I'm like, oh wow, I can see why having someone or someone's work for free for you, I can see how that can put you at an advantage. That is a major expense that doesn't have to come out of your pocket. So it is unbelievable how that works. I mean, yeah, if you don't have to pay the most expensive bill, then you have all this extra money to invest and bring about more things. You can have more tools, you can have expand your land, you can do all this type of crazy things. It's amazing, isn't it? So that is another thing that I would like to see us discuss more often, and that is the origin of everything, especially the origin of our country, which we tend to avoid it like the plague because it's dark. But I also if we're going to have the discussion, I want to have the discussion the way that it is. Because I am so sick that we always get a really watered down version of it. And I want to know the ugly stuff. And I feel like when we are kids, we are protected a lot from information like that. We're protected from the truth as it is. And then when we discover the dark details, we're shocked. Why are you shocked? you know? And another thing I would like to see is children who, how can I phrase this? Grow at a faster rate. And what I mean by that is that there are things, movies, for example, that are considered to be inappropriate for kids that I'm thinking, when I was a kid, I was watching that mess. And my mother didn't object to it. Nobody objected to it. Why are you trying to overprotect me? You know, let minds develop. Let kids be curious. And I think that what you need to do is be more invested with them. But again, I know why that's difficult presently because everyone is tight on money. Everyone is tight. Well, I say everyone, but this is me talking about the people I know in my immediate social circle. So I cannot expect for everybody to relate to my struggle because I know that everyone, depending on your age and career, experience, opportunities, your life will be significantly different from mine. But anytime I say that everybody is struggling, keep that in mind. Keep in mind that I am speaking from the level of society that I correspond to. And I cannot probably represent everybody who watches me here on the channel because I do not know everyone that well. But just know that if you ever hear me say everyone is struggling and you're like, what the fuck? That's not me, girl, you are crazy. It's because I am covering the people who I personally know, those who I actually interact with, talk to, work with, live with. That's the status that we have. So, therefore, I just want to put that out there and be clear about it. But yeah, I'm thinking teach us things the way they are. If you really want for your workers to be better in the future, educate them better. Don't be afraid about empowering people with knowledge. And so what if someone becomes better than you at something? There is always someone who's going to be better than you at something, and someone who's going to be less better than you at some stuff, or not better than you at all. So what? For me, it is so amazing every time I'm able to teach someone a way about doing something and then they end up surpassing me or like taking my technique and tweaking it even more when I thought that my technique was as best as it got. It's like, good for you. You can do more than I ever could to something. That's great. That's how we progress as a species. But I find that people go out of their way to not celebrate other people's accomplishments and not give credit to others. What is wrong with you? Why are you like that? Why can you not be like, you know what? I would have never thought about that. Like, how many times have I not said that here in the channel? One of you guys says something, and I'm like, you caught me off guard. I don't know. I never thought about that. I did not independently possess the capacity to come up with that thought. What is wrong with you admitting that? Don't be afraid to admit that. But there's some people who really go out of their way to try to justify why they were limited. Who cares? Nobody cares. But that's what I would like to see in the upcoming decade because I feel like as the years go by, this is something that's getting a little worse. Um, I feel like people are quick to envy. I almost feel, but I might be wrong. Maybe it's just me misinterpreting people's behavior. But I think it's odd that we don't celebrate each other more often. Let's see, where am I at? So true that most people have someone to lean on or to give them resources, whether that is material resources or emotional support. Other people don't really care. You have to fight for yourself. Yeah, when it comes to, let's see, let me break that down. You said most people have someone to lean on and give them resources. When it comes to leaning on someone, trust me, that makes all the difference. Even if you're leaning on someone because you had a really bad day and you have to tell someone about it, I find that if I'm upset about something and I tell someone what I'm upset about, once I tell them what I'm upset about, I realize that it really wasn't that bad. Sometimes I just need to vent, let it out, let someone share the weight with me. And something about that, it feels like you're sharing the burden, sharing the weight. It does not mean that you are trying to share the misery with them. That's different. But but for me, if I have a really bad day at work, all I have to do is bitch and complain about someone and to someone and stomp my feet on the ground a few times like oh yeah, 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 yeah. And then after that I'm like, that's it. I let it go. It's not like if I'm whining about something that happened to me, I'm going to hang on to it still even a week later. I can't do that. I cannot hang on to that type of thing. It's like whatever happens today happened today. Tomorrow it's a fresh start, fresh pace. Ain't nobody got time for that. I just cannot do that. I cannot be that person who stays stuck to those things, you know? That is something I guess that kind of surprises other people. Um, if you're new to a friendship with me or a relationship with me, which is you may think that I'm still holding grudges, or you may think that I'm keeping a scoreboard about the stuff that you've done and stuff. And I'm like, no, I don't have time for that because I have to sleep. I have to be up in the morning. I need to have energy. I need to be well rested. I need to have positive thoughts. And holding on to stuff like that just feels like freaking ants in my brain. Fire ants in my brain. Today, I was upset about something. I processed it. And now I am back to the way things were. When I say give me time, give me space, I need to think about something, just give me time, give me the space, let me think about something. And then when I'm ready for it, it could be within the hour, 10 minutes, within the day, within the week. When I am ready, I will come to you and make things right. But if I am not there yet, just leave me alone for a little bit because during that time that I am away, I am weighing everything, the fair part, unfair part, stuff like that. Sometimes I'm like, I'm really mad at this person for something they did. But at the same time, I don't have a right to be mad at this person because of this and this and that. And then the gray area of it, which is this person has their stuff plus my stuff to deal with. So, like, what is the balance? How can I make this fair? How can I make this just? And, I am reasonable like that. But the only reason I can do that is because this is something I have been practicing for years. This is a discipline that I have established. You cannot expect to to just freshly discover this and be really good at it. No, me as a human, I was not designed to be that kind of person. I am entirely different from how I used to be 10 years ago, and that's a good thing. We are all supposed to be growing. If you're staying stuck in your situation, there is something wrong. And it just means that you might need to reevaluate something. But I just would like to see people thinking about things critically a little more often. Something I get in the comments a lot. It's not really any of you guys who are regulars, but that person who just found my channel and they don't know a damn thing about me, they're sometimes saying, Why are you thinking about this so seriously? Give it a break. My goodness, chill out. You're going to have worse stuff coming for you in the future. Do you think I don't know that? Do you think that my thoughts are really that limited? Like, no. The whole point of this channel is for me to discuss absolutely anything I feel like talking about. It can be something as simple as, guys, I tried coffee today and it was fucking disgusting. Or, I discovered this amazing brand of ice cream that all of you guys need to try. Or it can also be, I got a new cat. I didn't. Dusty's still the same cat. I was going to stream with him, but I know that he was going to not behave very well. But anything. I can talk about anything because that's why this is my channel. Why do you care about how critically I think about something? You will either enjoy it or not enjoy it. If you don't enjoy it, leave. And for those of you who enjoy it, you're welcome to stay. It is a pleasure to have you. But it's just weird that some people think that just because they met you 2 minutes ago and they watched like a 10-minute video about you, they know you very well. Like, no, you have no idea what walks of society people come from. Just because you happen to see their opinion on something, it doesn't mean you know everything about them. And there is still a hella bunch of stuff that I haven't told you guys about. Some of it is a combination of me just not having the time, and some of it is me not being prepared for that topic yet. But everything that I have said to you guys that I will get to, I will get to it. You have to trust me. It's just taking me a little while, but I ain't going nowhere. So yeah, I would like to see people who, if you meet someone and the first time you meet them they didn't leave you with a good impression, give them an opportunity. You don't know what they're going through. It's like when you go to a job interview and everything bad in life has to happen the day of the interview. You get sick, you get stuck in traffic, it rains like crazy. Anything can happen. Just give that person an opportunity. If they're not, some people are just batshit scared about that first time experience with someone. Like, if you're meeting someone for the first time, you may not have very good people skills when you're introducing yourself to someone, but you'll realize that as time goes by, you're like, this person is a really freaking cool person. I'm so glad that I stuck to them and I was patient with them and whatnot. I am that person. I can have either an amazing experience meeting someone for the first time, or I will completely bomb that bitch. You know? So all you gotta do is calm down, chill out, and keep it real, stay down to earth, and maybe more people will like you. Like, some people wonder why it is that, especially the new people at work, somehow everybody ends up gravitating toward me. And my even my managers are like, what do you do to these people? Why do they want to talk to you? And I'm like, I didn't do anything. Like, you guys know that I'm antisocial. Like, I don't know what it is, but maybe it's because I'm honest, I keep it real, and I'm genuine. Like, I'm not telling something to this person and then turning around and slashing their back open. No. Just be genuine. Be sincere. Sincerity goes a long way. That's all I gotta say. Where am I at? Okay. The other part was material resources that someone can give. When it comes to material resources, I have been pretty privileged that ever since I was a kid, I have never lacked anything. I always had the basics that every human should have: clothes, food, shelter, and utilities like water, electricity, all that stuff, and a phone for in case of emergencies. But I think that the best thing about my upbringing was that I was raised with discipline, and the way I define discipline is stick to the absolute basics. As long as your absolute basics are satisfied, your life is good. And the basics are those things that I just mentioned. The things that in modern days are considered essential for your health and for your, like, kid used to have health insurance because every child has health insurance as a kid. So I guess I should mention that as well. That is something that I don't have now as an adult. But at least those things, once they're satisfied, I feel peaceful. I feel fine. And the debts that I have are not debts that I cannot manage. Like my car, for example, it has a year and a half left of it, and I just cannot wait because once I pay that off, I will finally be able to save a decent amount of what I make and also hopefully invest that money on something else, like maybe a better healthcare plan. And I'm not sure because I just don't know what next year is going to look like, or I guess I need to say 2 years from now still, because we're still in 2019 in the East Coast. But I'm just saying, I look forward to things like that. The way that with my discipline, how I am planning my life to become better. So this time next year, 2 years from now, um, a lot of things should be much better for me, especially since I will have more experience with the stuff that I was telling you guys about earlier and the stuff that I am launching, like the business that I am attempting to have on the side and whatnot. Who knows? Maybe that thing will grow like crazy. Maybe it'll still be going at this pace. It's slow, unfortunately, for me to call it my living, but at least at some point I get something from it, which at some point in life I didn't have something like that to back me up. And it just makes me really freaking proud. I don't need to be making like thousands a month from it or anything, but the sole fact that I am fulfilling something, it feels amazing. And better yet, it's like nobody gave it to me. I had to put it together. I had to be dedicated at how to spread the word about it. And it just makes me really freaking proud. And when I did communicate what I was doing to some people, they supported me. Like, I told my mom, hey, mom, this is a little something I got going on. If you got any brand new jewels or hats and stuff, you have a million things in your closet. Anything that you can, like, pass to me that you just don't think you're ever going to wear or something. I have this idea. And then I showed her, and she was like, oh, little girl is getting somewhere. Right, here you go. She gave me like 30 things. And then there was this colleague who she was going to go, when she was young, she was going to go to the Fashion Institute of New York. So this lady knows about owning things, fashion things, clothing, jewels, shoes. There is stuff that I did not even know existed to be worn. All right. So I spoke to this person and I'm like, this person is someone who is in my immediate circle. I know they're going to become an imperative connection. Let me mention something just to see how life treats me. She gave me two massive bags with like 150 things. And some of it I still have yet to like put together, take pictures of, present and whatnot. And I'm like, whoa, I came from having like 10, 15 little things that I just pulled from my closet. And now I have stuff that my mother contributed and my colleague contributed. And then also my boyfriend. I told him, hey, I know that you're not really that crazy about clothes. You still wear the same fucking shit that I met you wearing 6 years ago. So, like, if you have anything that you just don't care for, can you, like, give it to me? And he said, I give me, like, a few days. And then he gave me, like 10 things. And I'm like, sweet! Those are things, resources that didn't have to come from me. It's like a scholarship. Any amount of money that you don't have to spend, that doesn't come out of your pocket, is good. But once again, you need to have discipline and you need to know how to conduct this. Just because people gave me these things to give me a start doesn't mean that I'm like, well, let's pretend that cumulatively everything that my friends have given me is $500. Well, since I do not have to spend those $500 on buying clothes for me to attempt to sell, that means that I'm going to spend that money on bullshit. No, no, don't do that. Because anything can happen. Maybe you'll need to pay extra during shipping. Maybe you will need to buy more shipping supplies and whatnot. You know, that's what I'm saying. That money that I save, I always make sure to not touch it unless it's for something that's going to help me grow. And I find that some people tend to not have that discipline. I have been wanting to go crazy buying stuff for me. And I have never been someone who's consumeristic like that. Like, you guys know that my death are leggings. I have wanted to buy leggings so bad, especially this season when I know that they go on sale and whatnot, but I say, I got goals. I got a future to build and worry about. It's not like I own like 60 pairs already, right? But I'm like, I don't wear them in this color. I don't own them in this color. I don't own this pattern. I don't own this brand. You know, I want to try something new. Nah, man, that is the devil trying to get into your soul and try to mess you up in your quest at living a better life. No, you have to repel that thing. So that is the toughest part. When you do have a little bit of stuff that you used to not have before, you just want to spoil yourself. But I tell myself, if I deprive myself of these things now, in the future, I will be able to enjoy them better. And when I do get around to making a little sacrifice, it's even more worth it because I had to plan for this thing to happen. I had to wait for this thing to happen. So that's what I'm saying, guys. I would like to see people who are more grateful about what's going on in their lives because when Christmas was over and I was just surfing online the trend of Christmas and people were talking about the gifts they were getting, there was a trend about the gifts that people did not get. Like, people wanted the Apple Watch, and then their family member got them something else. And I'm thinking, if you want the Apple Watch, why don't you go and get it? Why don't you buy it? Because you're asking someone else to spend the money that it cost them time, effort, dedication, energy, physical suffering. You're just telling them to get you something. What have you done for them to deserve that? You know, you got some nerve to do that. Even when I was a kid, I had the toughest time asking my mom for gifts because she explained to me what it would mean for her to have that money to get me things, you know? And now that I am in that position where I have to work to be able to afford my own resources, it's like if someone had the nerve to ask me to buy them something expensive like that, I'm like, I will get you what I can get you because that's how I was raised. It's whatever is possible, not what I want. It's whatever is possible. Something that is supplemental enough. I would like to see more people practice more appreciation for whatever it is that those around you can do for you. Because at some point I used to be that person who I just took everything for granted. Like, oh yeah, if my mom doesn't give it to me, then maybe my granddaddy is gonna give it to me, or my grandma's gonna give it to me. Something, something. No, no. I learned to not keep searching for that if there is an alternative that can make me equally happy, you know? And then the other thing I saw, of course, was those stupid little headphones by Apple that are wireless, the AirPods. I wanted the AirPods, and then my parents got me a generic version. Of course, they got you a generic version. You are their child. As their child, you are an expensive ass bill. But you don't think about that. You're just thinking about how you get bombarded with ads about this thing that looks cool and you succumb to that. I want people to be better about not succumbing to ads because that's all it is. Someone is trying to sell you something. And when you buy something from Apple, you're primarily paying for the brand. Although there is some stuff that is exclusive. Like, I have no doubt that their headphones are going to sound better than certain others. But I'm just saying, if you have something that's good enough already, why do you feel this need to keep ambitioning for more stuff? What is it about stuff that makes people happy? Why, like, how is it worth it for you to have so much if at the end of the day you will not know what to do with so much stuff? Does that make sense? Like, why are you ambitioning to have so much stuff when once you have that stuff, you won't know what to do with that stuff? Especially when that stuff becomes obsolete. Like iPhones, for example. People keep buying the newer one. Why? Just why? What is this amazing new feature that this new phone has that you just have to have it? Is it saving your life? You know? Is it planting trees for you in your garden? Is it cleaning the bathroom for you? No, you are enslaved to this device from hell. And you're still ambitioning to have the next model. Why? Why does stuff get in your head like that? That's what I'm saying. I cannot imagine a life in which I am concerned about things like that. And I'm not trying to say that because I don't think that way, I'm better than anyone else. I'm just saying that my values are not compatible with yours. And that's okay. And do not try to pressure others into consuming the mess that you're consuming. Let people discover things on their own and let them make the decision to consume such a thing or not. Because I find that a lot of people succumb to the peer pressure of everybody has the iPhone, so I have to have the iPhone, or everybody is eating at Popeyes, so I too have to eat at Popeyes. No. Discover shit on your own. And that is why I'm a being who's pretty peaceful. Where the crowd tends to go, I tend to go the opposite direction. And it's not because I'm scared of the crowd. It's more of, it's not my time yet to be headed in that direction. And that's pretty much it. That's how I manifest myself. Let me see. What else was in that comment? I want to make sure that I get to every part of that comment. And emotional support. When it comes to emotional support, that's been a tricky one for me because it's not something that I was absolutely bathing in when I was a kid. And in my adolescence, I was by myself. And in my adult years, I guess my lack of emotional support when I was a kid has forced me to toughen up as an adult. Because if I didn't, I would be this very broken person right now, just lamenting myself. Oh, well, my daddy didn't love me, so therefore, I gotta be all broken emotionally so that someone comes to my life and rescues me and repairs me. No, I would never get anything done if I thought that way. I would not show up to my job. I wouldn't eat. I wouldn't exercise. I wouldn't sleep. At some point, that used to affect me, but I had to bring myself up. I said, This is time I'm never going to get back. I need to be okay with the fact that I may not experience the love and support of a father, for example. I have to be okay with that. Same thing with relationships. I cannot say that I have had a relationship in which I have been 100% fulfilled. I have to be okay with the fact that maybe I will be the person who goes through life without finding that so called magical person who you perfectly match with. I accept that and I am okay with that because there's more to life than that. I would like for that to be my story as well. Oh, I found this person I'm perfectly compatible with and they satisfy me and everything. Oh, I am happy because this person is there. Like, that used to be me. I used to be obsessed about that and it was making me miserable. So, once I learned to not be dependent on those things, and that to allow it to supplement me when it is present, I became a happier person. I would love for that to like last forever. Like, oh yeah, this person who I match with is there and this is the way things are going to be for the rest of our lives. I would like for that to be the case, but realistically, at some point something might happen and people may need to part ways. Don't be afraid to do that. Because trust me, there is nothing worse than just like just like my best friend said to me at some point in 2015. He said, at some point you need to understand that the only failure in life is spending that time with someone who isn't right for you. And I'll never forget how much I cried when I heard that. Because I'm like, no, I just want for this person to be the one. I want for stuff to work with this person. And if it doesn't work with this person, then nothing else in life can work for me and whatnot. And then I said, that is such an infantile mentality to have that I am appalled that that is the way that I am thinking. But when you have a younger mind, no matter how much younger, like a year younger, 2 years younger, you still have like that spirit of youthfulness going on. And you just want things to just happen, even if it's nonsensical. Don't fall for that trap. Because it is true what people say every time they say they regret being in relationships like that. It has happened to me, and it took forever for me to heal from that shit. I can say that I have fully healed from it with, of course, there are certain things that can trigger me to like to take a trip back to a time when I was miserable and I'm like, ouch, I remember when I was like that and it hurt. But the good thing is that I learned my lessons. And as long as you learned, it was worth it. And I feel like the only possible way I could have learned the lesson is for it to happen in the way that it did, you know? So, yeah, emotional support is something that I would like to be better at when it comes to giving it to other people. But sincerely, because I have never had a good example, there is no lead for me to sort of imitate and be like, yeah, this is the way at emotionally supporting someone. Or this is not the way to emotionally support someone. I like to just play it by ear. If someone says that they struggle with depression, all right, what do you feel is the source of your depression? Or do you truly believe that depression is all about the shape of your brain or something? Do you think that maybe your habits are contributing to it? Are you eating well? Are you exercising? Uh, are you taking drugs? Like medication and stuff. I find that most people who mess with medication end up like zombies. So maybe consider withdrawing from that stuff. Anything like that. I try to diagnose the issue, but if I cannot, then I think I would rather stay away because maybe what I think is a good piece of advice may actually do more harm for the person, and I wouldn't like to be responsible for that. But at least I know that I genuinely always have the best of intentions. But but to me, what helped me was embarking in journeys of self-reflection, constant self-reflection. And in part, that's what I owe the existence of this channel to. Lots and lots and lots of thinking, all by myself. Don't be afraid of yourself. And let's see, am I done? Other people don't really care. You have to fight for yourself. It is good to. It's good you see deception and the toxic patterns. The people who have thrived on people who have not. They don't want to help other people. 60% of people inherit wealth. True. Let's see. Tisha Taylor. Oh, Tisha Taylor donated $5. I appreciate that so much. I support you, Zambri. Keep supporting. Keep being supportive of people around you. I don't have family or friends. Just realize set boundaries and your expectations with others. That reminds me, I have not forgotten that in the comment section of I'm starting to stutter already. Um, what's the name of that video again? My life without a family. I have replied to some people saying that I will do a follow up with that video. I haven't forgotten. I fully intend to. I just need to get my mind together on it. But I want to do a follow up on it just like I do a follow up on a lot of videos that I ever do because you change. I mean, time passes, circumstances change. So it would be interesting for me to revisit that because some stuff has changed from the time that I made that video back in 2016. It had to be 2016 because I still had my giant sunglasses. So yeah, and my hair was short. So yeah, 2016. So thanks a lot. Johnny Reed says, you are leveling the playing field by being an entrepreneur. You all help by keeping the price point low by means of competition. So thanks. Happy New Year. Decade Day. Yes, exactly. That is what I have been learning. There is some stuff that I use as my product that I push, and then there's the stuff that I consider the luxury stuff. Like this is absolutely not something I can give you for cheap, but once I sell one of those, it's like this leaves me with a little bit left over so that the little things, the simpler things, while they sell, they keep contributing things to my wealth of the luxury product, if you want to call it like that. It's a lot of psychology that I put into how I sell things, but at the end of the day, I the person's happiness matters to me. So if I can make someone happy giving something that really doesn't have much meaning to me, but it will have meaning to them, if I gotta make $1, $2, $3 less on it, I don't care. I would like for someone to do that to me, especially if I'm having a bad day. You have no idea how far an act of kindness goes. Yes, I am a business, but at the same time, it's not like I'm losing my soul to make that dollar. Like, no, that's why I work hard every day so that I don't have to suffer and beg so much. Technically, I'm that person who's like a paycheck or two away from homelessness, but I'm proud regardless that I am in a significantly better situation now than I was back in 2015 and 16 when I had nothing. I had nothing. Mugan has donated $10. I appreciate that, and I am sorry that I cannot decide what kind of pronunciation I should give your username. Happy decade, Sam. Thank you so much. Hi, Zambri. Hey, Jordan. Happy New Year. I love your hair. I appreciate it. Jesse says, sounds like you need a cup of stoicism. Maybe. How is Dusty doing? He is huge, huge, and fat. and playful and, dusty. Same dusty as always. I guess I need to do a video on him pretty soon. Happy New Year's. Material things just things. They don't have feelings, don't have souls, just a thing. Don't understand why people are spending so much money, and after, when people break those things, act like life is over. Oh my god. Yes! For me, this is my rule. This is the rule by which I conduct my life. I never ever get something that I cannot easily replace. Or never get something that is going to hurt me if it breaks. The most precious possession I guess I can say I have is my car. Because, of course, a car is a car. A car is a big deal. So I do have to care if something happens to it. But just because something happens to that car doesn't mean that my life is going to be over. Because realistically, this country is not running out of cars to buy. But I like to take care of it, given that it's not something that I can easily get, easily replace. If I break this car, it's like, yeah, my daily life is going to suffer a major complication. But you better believe that in the same manner that I put myself together and was able to get that one, I will do the same thing. Get myself together, my stuff together, my resources together, and then try to make another one happen. It may not be the exact one that will serve me in the manner that I need, but you better believe that even if it is buying $100 bicycle just to temporarily make it to work until I can get there, I will make that investment. I am not afraid. Because if something happens to this, that means I don't have to pay for it anymore. So that money that I'm already spending paying the loan that I have on it, I just have to tell myself I gotta give myself maybe a year of saving very solidly so that I can give a nice down payment for a new one and then be able to afford putting insurance on it, getting the tags, plates. That's included when you buy the car pretty much, but I'm just saying that that is money that you have to spend at that moment in time. Things like that. Make the plan. The good thing is that I have the experience of having gone through such a transaction to where if I have to do it again, no intimidation. But but yeah, I will never understand the people who constantly get things that they're afraid of messing up. Like, oh my god, I got these expensive shoes and don't step on them. I don't understand the people who really trip when you step on their shoes. I trip if you step on my shoes, if they're like, because I like my shoes, they're super neat and whatnot. But just because I'm a germaphobe like that doesn't mean that I break my shoes because I was out running or something, my life is over. No, it's not over because I know that the store has more where that came from and I have no issues replacing it. See what I mean? So if you're about to spend money on something that technically you cannot afford to immediately replace, you don't need to be getting it. Don't get it. Please, don't get it. Don't pretend to live a life that you don't have. That's what I'm saying. I know people are different. Just that materials are wasted money. I know it's fun, but it's just a thing. Yeah, like at some point, everything that I was hyped about once I got it, I was never so hyped about it anymore. Like, let's say that I'm online and I happen to see an ad for my dream leggings. Like, these have all of my favorite colors in it, perfect accents, panels, material, fit, length, everything about it just screams, Zam, I am yours. Once I buy it, it's like I wear it that first time and I'm like, oh, wait, links. But then it's like the second time is not as fun or exciting as the first time. The third time, it's like, this is part of my day to day now. Like, this is no longer brand new. And this cost me how much? Let's pretend my dream Zam leggings cost. Let's say they cost $100. Just because there is such thing as $100 leggings, just like 120, $200 jeans and stuff. Let's say mine are $100 leggings. I'm going to cry at the first snag that I see, the first sign of pilling, the first pull. Don't even get me started on stains. I see a stain and I'm like freaking out. Why? Why would I do that to myself? Why would I invest on a piece of garment that is susceptible to damage? Just like my car. The first time I saw a relatively deep dent on it when it was brand new, it was like 8 months old and it already had a dent. It hurt me. But at the same time I said, let me calm down because this is something that is bound to happen. Something else that happens is when I am sitting at parking lots and there's someone who walks by and they have their purse or their keys. Maybe they have their keys hooked to their pants or something, and they walk by my car and they're not careful and they drag their keys across my door and it ends up scratched. I don't do that to other people's cars. Other people do that to my car. But I understand that that is not a factor that I don't have control over for one reason only. The motherfucker who did it is not my child. Because I guarantee you that my children would not scratch other people's cars doing bullshit like that. Not being mindful about you trying to squeeze yourself through areas that you don't fit. Just don't try that. Go the longer way around, but don't try to slide between cars when you know that you don't fit. And then my favorite part of it is when I have caught people hitting my car, I'm like, careful. Oh, I'm so sorry. Oh, no. Yeah, I'm so sorry. And I'm like, you're not fucking sorry. The only reason you're sorry right now is because I caught you. But when you hit my car, bumped into it, or scratched it, whatever, you made no effort at turning around and inspecting it to see if it's okay. How am I supposed to believe you? How am I supposed to believe that you're sorry? And don't be sorry, don't humiliate yourself, just don't do that shit. If you don't do that shit, you don't need to be sorry. It's that simple. I have never ever in my life apologized for vandalizing someone else's car, whether voluntary or involuntary. Never. Why? Because I'm not an idiot. If I don't fit through two cars, I don't do it. Just don't do it. And that way, you don't have to apologize falsely and just save me the trouble. But yeah, I hate that. People go, oh, I'm so sorry. No, you're not sorry. And the other thing is, I made an entire video about this, but it's the people who say, well, I didn't know. Well, I didn't know that you were inside your car and you were going to, like, bust me for scratching it. Yeah, yeah, I was. And maybe God left me in the car an extra second for a good reason, you know? So stop being stupid. Stupid. That's what I want to tell people. Just stop being stupid. I don't buy it. For your disgrace, I am someone who is incredibly like untrusting of people. I guess, is that what would be called malice? No, I think malice is when you act on bad intentions. But anyways, it's like I automatically assume that people are up to no good until proven otherwise. Like the government or I guess the law tends to give you the treatment of innocent until proven guilty. In cases like this, I say guilty until proven innocent because the act has happened and I know that you inflicted it. But if you can prove to me that it was innocently conducted, then all right. But if you cannot, then in my book, you're guilty forever. Anyway, that doesn't have to make sense to anybody. That's just me mentioning some of my train of thought, in case you wondered. Let's see. While I catch up and find my place, I'm gonna drink some water because I'm dry. Okay, let me see. Material things, this and that. I know people are different. I love your green shirt. That's different. Oh, every time I wear this green shirt, people tend to compliment me on it. So thanks a lot. Let's see. Yes, it's okay to have fun. We're all humans. We can't be serious every day. We got the right to laugh, acting silly, being lazy. Some days spending money is what we work hard for, and I love unselfish people. Yeah, sometimes I want to say that every 2 months or so, I have this one paycheck that I set aside some $40 and I just go out and just buy bullshit. I'm like, I remember that I saw these leggings that one time. Are they still here? Are they still on sale for like $10? Heck yeah, I deserve new leggings. But it's just that when it comes to leggings, my favorite part of the day is before the gym when I'm getting dressed up to go. I'm like, I get to choose which leggings I'm going to wear. And I don't care what my hair looks like. I don't care what my hat looks like, what my shoes look like, but my top must match my leggings, no matter what. Or alternatively, if I do not have a choice over what kind of bottoms I get to wear, my shoes gotta be on point. My shoes have to be on point. I guess I should do a video in which I show my shoes collection, which it's not a collection. It's a mess. But if I'm going to make a leggings video, then I should make a shoes video. And you guys will see exactly what pattern my shoes follow. But I ain't gonna spoil it, but I just gotta remember to write that down so that I don't forget. But yeah, it's amazing how long shoes last me because I take care of them. Where am I at? I know there are selfish people out there. I'm not judging, just don't know what they're doing through life. Only God knows the pain that they're like in their lives and why they're like that. Yes, that is something that honestly I learned that 2 years into my job. And it's because at my job, most of us would get together at some point, either at the very end of the night or during our breaks if they coincided. You have that one person in the group who's always willing to just vent. So we would establish a venting session. And then because that was my entry level time, that was my first job ever, and I was completely new to what it was to have a job, what it was to run a business, all of that stuff. And the psychology of being at work, which is you're dealing with customers, you're dealing with people from all walks of life, all that good stuff. I like the fact that the people I work with are so vocal about things because I'll never forget the first time someone came to me and vented to me. I'm like, what are you doing? I'm new. You don't know me. I mean, I'm not going to like talk about you or say that you said this stuff, but why are you trusting me with your private thoughts about how you feel about this person? And they said, just look at this person. Same pattern. Alone, very early in the morning, or really late at night, and always, always, always unhappy. No matter what we do at the store, no matter what, they are always not satisfied. And I'm thinking, why? Why is that possible? How are there people like that? What is wrong with them? And then uh, once they told me that, they being my colleagues, like, oh yeah, watch this person. They're always by themselves. Or it's always them mother who is by herself with 5 kids and she drives a van and has the crazy haircut. um, I said, I don't want to judge people by their appearance, but it is so true. It's usually people who follow that kind of pattern who give us the hardest time. Why? And they're like, well, it's because they're just alone in life. They regret their decisions, or they did not have certain opportunities, or what else? Their parents live far away, or they have marital problems. Let me tell you something. My worst experiences with working with people or working for people, whatever, nothing beats the lady who is having marital problems. I have experienced that firsthand. I don't know how guys go through it. I don't know how they process it because guys don't really come up to me and tell me, hey, Zam, I'm having problems in my relationship, right? They don't. But every time I have had challenges with a female, there's usually something going on in their private lives, and it's usually in their relationship. And I'm thinking, look, let me tell you something. I have had very, very bumpy instances in my relationship in which it leaves me semi agonizing, just semi dead, call it what you will. But when my personal life is collapsing, what I like to do is focus on my professional life and keep it strong. And also, the aspect of my personal life that is untouched by the issue, I like to focus on that as well. Why on God's green earth would I use my shitty relationship as a justification to be a shitty human? In my job or with my friends. No, I never justified that. I use that as motivation. Oh, my relationship is in shambles? Well, let me make sure that other important areas of my life do not suffer just because of this. I find that so immature, so freaking challenging, just so frustrating when people allow for like their relationship in this instance with the example that I'm using for it to ruin you everywhere else. Or you can use other examples. If your professional life sucks, don't let your relationship suffer, and don't let the other remnant of your personal life suffer. Or, sorry, yeah, I messed that up. But, anyways, you guys follow me. On the contrary, make sure that you keep that stuff strengthened. You know, if your professional life is strong and your relationship is strong, and then there's a part of your personal life that you're not satisfied with, what can you do to reinforce it so that whatever is lacking no longer burdens you? You know, that is how I operate as a human being. I cannot imagine me having, say, a bad professional life and then coming home and treating everyone here like crap. No, no, that's only aggravating the problem. So, that is so true. You just never know what people are going through, but at the same time, why is it that more often than not, people are unequipped with the tools that they need to pull themselves up or dig themselves out of the hole? What do you need? What are you missing? You know? But again, I'm not perfect. I have made mistakes sometimes in which let's say, my relationship got the best of me, and I was at work and I was suffering inside, and I didn't do as good of a job. But I told myself, I still showed up, I still made it on time, and I still got my job done, not to the best of my abilities, but it got done. That is a major accomplishment on its own. So I wish that people would do that a little more often. Just focus on the fact that you are still getting things done in the midst of all your troubles. And eventually, stuff will just get better, you know? But it all comes from your mind. If you keep your mind strong and positive, everything just works out. Just please give yourself that opportunity. Trust yourself. You're not crazy, you're well equipped. When people open their eyes, see things more clearly, life will be more understanding. Some people will be fast or take years. When people put God first in life, will be free relationships and friendships. Mugen. Mood. Mugen. Mugen or Mugen. I still want to make your name complicated. To me, it's Mugen. Darn it. Well, guys, I'm going to breeze through the comments, and after this, I'm going to have to desert you. Unfortunately. But yeah, because that is an alarm. But yeah, I'm going to read everyone's comments to at least acknowledge everybody. And thank you so much for tuning in and for joining me. It's been a pleasure. And I can't wait to do this again. Truth, I understand. Cars. It is important to get to work, to get to places, and helping people. And the TVs and video games and furnitures and shoes. I feel you on shoes. I rather have my feet. And yeah, when it comes to cars, that's exactly how I look at it. My mom always said a car is a necessity. Respect it. Respect the fact that it's dangerous. It's your life at any second. Anything can change your life forever when you are traveling in this metallic thing. Don't do anything stupid. If you're not in good condition, do not risk it. It is a massive responsibility. It is expensive, it is dangerous, etc., etc. What is a goal you hope to achieve in 2020? You're so wise than I was. The world is yours, Zem. You have great values and priorities straight. Thank you so much for the donation again, Tisha. And to answer your question, my goals for 2020 that I hope to achieve, that I am sure I am going to achieve, is not spending money on BS. Like I was mentioning earlier, this year, because I made a few extra bucks on the side, I was just spoiling my things with stuff I've never done before. And I'm like, oh yeah, this is exciting. I can see why people spend so much money on this, so much money on that. And then there was a week in which I was completely irresponsible and I was like, I fell in the trap, but I have recovered from that because I know that I got responsibilities. So no matter what, that takes priority. But that's my goal, to strengthen my finances even more and become more educated on how to make my wealth grow, or like I call it wealth, but it's more for your resources. I don't want to stay at the very bottom with the bare minimum forever. So basically, financially, I want to become a little stronger. That's it. The goal that I hope to achieve. I cannot stand people hit and run so sad and crazy. It is better to stay or call the police. That person or right make things worse. Being dishonest. Yes, absolutely. I always think about that. I'm always thinking if I hit someone, I'm going to like scare myself shitless. But I am going to be there and face the consequences and make sure that I know this person's fate. Nothing will keep me up at night more than that. Just knowing that because of my negligence, someone got hurt or possibly killed. I love the shirt and you're welcome. Alright, guys. Well, I am caught up with the comments. I have to run, but thank you so much for tuning in. It's been amazing. I really enjoyed the stream, and I really, really, really hope to be here with a little bit more frequency. But now that I have recovered from my flu demon, there is no reason why that is not possible. All right, guys. Thank you so much. I'll see you soon. Thanks for watching. Thank you. Thank you.